بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. My brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The discussion for this afternoon session is on Islamic finance, a must in preserving absolute halal business. As you will note, in the Quran, every time Allah mentions about prayer, it is always followed by payment of zakat. Taking these two together would mean that the trust of an Islamic governance, or for that matter, for an Islamic community, is not only to work for spiritual upliftment, but also for economic development. For example, in Surah Al-Hajj, in the Quran, we read the verse which says, and this is actually the trust of an Islamic governance. Allah says in Surah Al-Hajj, الَّذِينَ إِن مَّكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَمَرُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَهَوْا عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَلِلَّهِ عَاقِبَةُ الْأُمُورِ. Which means to the effect that those who are given power, they are required to work out for the spiritual upliftment of the community, that is aqamu salah, wa atu zakah, and work for the economic development of the community, wa amaru bil ma'ruf wa nahaw anil munkar, and they ought to enjoin what is right, what is good, and forbid what is wrong. This is actually the work of Islamic governance. So when we speak of halal business, we are speaking of the making of the business life of the Muslims in accordance with the Sharia, and that is, it must be within the bounds of what is halal. We have several Quranic foundations. Among these is in Surah Al-Araf, when Allah says in Surah Al-Araf, Ya bani Adam khudhu zinatakum inda kulli masjid wa kulu washrabu wa la tusrifu innahu la yuhibbul musrifin. Qul man harrama zinatallahi allati akhraja li'ibadihi wat tayyibati minar rizq. Qul hiya lil ladina amanu fil hayati dunya khalisatan yawmal qiyamah kadzalika nufassilu al-ayati liqaumin ya'lamun. Qul innama harrama rabbiyal fawahisha ma dhahara minha wa ma batan والإثم والبغي بغير الحق وأن تشركوا بالله ما لم ينزل به سلطانا وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون. Which means to the effect, O children of Adam, take your adornment to every masjid and eat and drink, but waste not by extravagance. Certainly Allah likes not the wasteful. This means that every time a Muslim is required to perform his prayers, he must wear the best of his clothes. How can you wear the best of your clothes if you're not economically fit? So it is a must that the Muslim must work out for his economic development. And then Allah says, and eat and drink, but waste not by extravagance. Certainly, He likes not the wasteful. When Allah says, kulu washrabu wa la tusrifu, it means we are required to eat and drink, but we have to eat and drink only halal. Halal because it is halal by itself. Halal li dhatihi. Wa halal and halal because it is taken, it is a result of one's endeavor through halal business or halal trade. Then Allah continues, say, who has forbidden the adornment with clothes given by Allah, which He has produced for His servants, and at-tayyibat, or the good things of sustenance, say, they are in the life of this world for those who believe, and exclusively for them in the day of resurrection. Thus we explain the ayat in detail for people who have knowledge. Which means that who has, as if Allah is asking, who has forbidden the good things of life, who has forbidden the computer, the microphone, the cell phone, the luxurious cars, who has forbidden this? Allah says, these are not forbidden. These are part of Allah's sustenance to man. And therefore man has to strive to take this. But he must take these things. He must earn these things. He might buy these things through halal business. And then finally Allah says in that ayat, but the things that my Lord indeed forbids are the following: al-fawahish, or immoral deeds, whether committed openly or secretly, and ithm, or sinful acts, and transgression without right, and joining partners with Allah, for which He has given authority, and saying things about Allah of which you have no knowledge. When Allah says, and transgression without right, this means when you enter into a business and you are cheating other people, then this is not part of the Islamic way of doing business. Another Quranic foundation is in Surah Al-Jum'ah, when Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha nudiya lis-salatu min yawmil jum'ati fas'au ila zikrillahi wa dharul bay'. Zalikum khairul lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. Fa idha qudiyatis salatu fantashiru fil ard wabtagu min fadlillahi wazkurullaha katiran la'allakum tuflihun. Which means to the effect, oh, you who believe, when the call is proclaimed for the Salah of Jum'ah or the Jum'ah prayer, then hasten to the remembrance of Allah and leave off business. Which means here is a very good indication that what Allah wants us to do is that before we perform the prayer, we have to do halal business. We have to do halal way of trading. Because Allah says, when the call to prayer is proclaimed, you hasten to the remembrance of Allah. You go to prayer and leave off business. Which means that before performing the prayer, you are doing a good way of living. Either as a teacher, as a trader, as a farmer, or whatever your work is. You have to leave that and go to remembrance of Allah. Then Allah continues. He said, then when Salah is complete, after the performance of the prayer, during Yawmul Jum'ah, you may disperse through the land and seek the bounty of Allah and remember Allah much that you may be successful. Meaning, after the performance of the prayer, Allah instructs us to do our work. When He says, وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ, you look for the sustenance of Allah. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا, but always remember Allah while you are looking for His sustenance. It might be that one gets out of the prayer and look for sustenance, and when he says a carabao tied in somebody's tree, he takes that carabao. That is not a good way of doing your business. You have to do your business according to what Allah wants, because He said, "Wazkurullah." Remember Allah always when you are doing your business, so that you'll not be involved in illicit or illegal business transactions. Another Quranic foundation is in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, when Allah says, وَيْلُ لِلْمُتَفِّفِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَئِكَ أَنَّهُمْ مَبْعُوثُونَ لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. وَأَنْتُ الْمُتَفِّفِينَ. Mutaffifin is a very degrading name used in the Quran for people who are doing business but who are cheating other people. And these are defined in the second verse when Allah says, those who, when they have to receive by measure from men, demand full measure. When they want to buy something, to get something, they want it full. But when they have to give by measure or weight to men, give less than that is due. For example, you are selling a kind of business through weight, and when you sell, you decrease the weight of what you are selling, or decrease the measurement of what you are selling. These are the mutaffifin. And they are warned when Allah says, do they not think that they will be resurrected on a great day, the day when all mankind shall stand before the Lord of all that exists? Meaning, there is always, in the Islamic point of view, not only speaking about